Elbis and Elbis Album Review Show.
Alright everyone, welcome back to the Elbis and Elbis World Class Podcast. Joining with Elbis.
Hi pal.
And today we've got another album review coming at you. We've been away for about nearly a month now.
Yeah, just about a month, yeah.
Obviously with things going on, it's been hard for Elbis and Elbis to sort of develop these album reviews, but you know, we've found a way around it and well,
thinking about the fans, putting the fans first.
well obviously, you know,
a lot of you have been eager for another instalment, and the amount of album requests we're getting is becoming almost unmanageable.
Well, I mean, if you look at the stats from these album reviews, I mean, it's quite similar. You know, you lot seem to be enjoying it and that, so you know, keep viewing us and that. But yeah, I mean, very excited for this one.
The new feature we introduced last time around, which you may remember, the random generator wheel using the supercomputer, that was very popular. And I would like to say that whilst we have had this break, I've actually been using my time constructively, and I have recombobulated the supercomputer somewhat, releasing enough frequency to increase the petaflops, and we can now feed in up to 7 albums.
Well, it was a lot of hard work. We didn't know, you know, we weren't sure whether we was going to be able to do it, but Elbis, as he says, has managed to increase the petaflops.
Yeah.
And yes, there is now 7 songs on the wheel.
It seems fairly stable, although when it runs in my tests, the lights do dim because it's using that much power at the moment.
And again, this
However,
sort of confirms. I
stable.
mean, you know, people for some reason have this conspiracy theory about, you know, Elbis and Elbis, God, they're bloody scripted or whatever.
Yeah.
This, you couldn't do this scripted. It's we spin the wheel, whatever it comes, we deliver a review, and that just shows we can do anything we want on the spot.
Now, so because last time we did Parallel Lines by Blondie, that removed one of the options from the random wheel. And so because of the extra petaflops which I have managed to obtain, we can now add a further 2 albums to it. So did you want to like sort of read out the 7 choices what we've got today?
Yeah, I'll go through the wheel. So on the wheel today we've got The Queen Is Dead by the Smiths, Hunky Dory by David Bowie, Michael Jackson, Bad, Nevermind the Bollocks, the Sex Pistols, Automatic for the People, R.E.M., Back in Black, AC/DC, and finally Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, nice.
So the 2 new albums there, Back in Black and Automatic for the People.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, it's always interesting to see what the wheel generates.
Yes, it is.
But
I know there's some I'm hoping for more than others.
Yeah.
But it's all down to the wheel, and I don't know. I know you're sitting comfortably now.
Well,
but did you want to walk over to the supercomputer?
Yeah, I was just sort of trying to get my legs warmed up for it, really. But yeah, for the wheel to spin, I suppose I've got to get over there.
Take the mic with you then. Like
yeah,
you did
will
last
do.
time.
Right, 1 second, please. Right, we're here at the World Class Album Review wheel, and let's see what album is generated for Elbis and Elbis today.
I didn't want this one.
Oh yes, the album we're reviewing today is The Queen Is Dead by the Smiths.
Well,
fantastic.
To be honest, it's an album I don't
Fantastic
really know.
album.
I don't mind some songs by the Smiths, but I was not looking.
It's a
forward to
bloody
this one.
brilliant album. Well, is it? We'll review it. We'll give an honest review.
You're going to have to lead the review here
Well,
because I don't know. But I suppose at least it's a fresh reaction from me.
Well, to do this review, I suppose I need to rejoin Elbis back at the recording area.
And then I can stop shouting.
Yeah. Just give me a sec. All right, I'm back here now with Elbis, and yeah, very excited about this. The Queen Is Dead. I know you not so
Very
much
disappointed.
because you're not such a mogul on the Smiths like
No,
I am.
well, I know how this is going to go already. There's going to be arguing, squabbling, because you're going to think every song's
Listen,
brilliant.
pal,
and I
listen.
probably won't.
Whenever I come out here is accurate. I have studied this album
I better
with
get it
great
on.
accuracy.
On the jukebox, I better
that's
find
true.
said album. So just give me a minute while I do that. What is it? The Queen Is Dead.
Well, just while Elbis is doing that, there's a few things I'd like to address, just very briefly.
I found it, by the way, so you don't have to address anything if you don't want to.
Well, it's up to you. Shall I address something, or...?
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, we do have something to address.
That's what I thought...
Yeah.
I thought it was quite important, but
yes,
I was sort of not getting that vibe from you.
Yes.
But, yeah, so, in... conversation...
Let's not mince our words. Elbis and Elbis have been banned in several countries. We, think about our American fans.
I didn't want to go all in like that.
American fans, Syrian fans, Iranian, Turkish, Australian, Libyan, all of those countries we have been banned in one form.
The one that hurt me the most was the American ones.
Yes,
because as you all know, we accommodate American viewers very much. Yeah. Every time people like the Americans are unsure about what we're saying or whatever, we make sure they understand. So that hurt that.
Yeah.
It really
and what
hurt.
it is last time we did this, for example, we did Parallel Lines by Blondie. Now clearly we gave it an honest review. Yeah. We didn't say it was the best album in the world.
We didn't say it was the worst though.
Clearly Debbie Harry's aired that and she's copyrighted us. So we've been banned in several countries. It's not just Debbie Harry who's to blame. There's also your favourite, Billy Joel.
Yeah, but I think there was a misunderstanding there. I think
there must have been, but he did it.
Billy, he appreciates good stuff when he hears it, and he obviously aired our album review and thought that's obviously world class. And one of the Elbises
must be jealous.
knows what he's on about, and the other Elbis has no idea. So that's why he probably did it. It was you.
Fleetwood Mac as well. They've done it. So the only ones that haven't.
They can get stuffed. I'm sorry, but Fleetwood Mac. It was the most disappointing album review today.
Well, you can see why.
If you haven't aired these reviews, go back, listen to them, make sure you're up to date on all the album reviews. But
if you're in one of the countries affected,
it's ridiculous.
Your best bet is go to Spotify or Podomatic because we haven't been banned in those. It doesn't look like the artists have found us in there just yet to ban us, but they're finding us on YouTube and they are trying where possible.
The thing is, Elbis and Elbis, it's like an underground movement, and at the end of the day, these countries can ban us, and these people, the Syrian people, the American people, the Turkish people, all these people, they'll try and stop them from listening to us.
Yeah.
But let's just say, Elbis and Elbis won't go down without a fight. Yeah. And Elbis and Elbis aren't going away for a long, long time. Yeah. So don't worry. Get on Spotify. Yeah. Get on Podomatic. We're not banned on there. And have a listen on there if you can't hear us on YouTube.
But what we're going to do this time, I think, is we usually play 10 seconds at the beginning and the end. We'll do 5 seconds at the beginning and the end this time. Just in case Morris is in a mood.
Well, what annoys me about these sort of artists as well, just the final thing on this now, because I want to get into the album, and I don't want this to be ruined by what's been going on. But we needed to tell you. So what annoys me the most is these artists who are banning us obviously see expert opinions there, and they're scared. Yeah. They're running scared. Yeah. And the thing is, like, we get so many messages every day saying, "Oh, we'd love to come on your podcast. We'd love to do this."
That has been happening a lot.
And then, you get people who slag you off. Yeah. Who also have said in the past that they want to come on your podcast and stuff. Well, to be honest with you, it's like the podcast, it's a bit like Frankenstein in a way. Because you can either be scared of it or you can go, "That's amazing." Yeah. Because it's so groundbreaking. No one's ever seen anything like it before.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, what I'm thinking is, I don't want the people who would see Frankenstein and go, "He's a bit weird." I want the people who would see Frankenstein and go shake his hand.
People look at Frankenstein and think that there's this gruesome, hideous monster, whereas I look at Frankenstein and, quite frankly, I see a medical marvel. So,
exactly. And that's how Elbis and Elbis see it. That's how the world should see it. However, there's a few people who see Frankenstein as a weirdo, whereas we see it as a medical marvel who has changed the face of medical things.
Let's get on with this album now then.
Sorry about the rant, but let's just get into the album.
So the album is called The Queen is Dead by The Smiths, made in 1986. Now, it seems to me, and you know the album, I really don't know it. The first song is actually called The Queen is Dead.
Put it on.
So we'll put that on. Just 5 seconds though this time. Right, here we go.
Well, that was The Queen is Dead by The Smiths, and a brilliant start to the album.
It was alright.
Here we go. Already.
It's a fresh listen from me. I don't really know the song.
Jesus Christ.
It was alright, I'd say. It was a good song. Very good song. It reminds me of Better Days. you know, like being in a kind of dark, dingy club late at night, which, you know, is something I did enjoy when that was possible. However, it's a long song, and I think you could cut 3 minutes from it and still get as much pleasure. So that would be my recommendation.
Honestly. My opinion of that song is that it's one of the most well-written songs ever, and it's really, when you look at it on a computer screen, really, it's almost like an epic poem, really.
Okay.
The way it's written, and Morrissey, the way he writes, he does write like poems.
What's it about then? Because I don't know it, so I mean, what is it about?
Well, that's the best thing about it, I think, in a way. You can look at so many lines of it and get your own opinion of what it means, really.
Okay, yeah.
And that's the best thing about it. But I think, to be honest, to me, it's sort of, it's them standing up to society at that time.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, to really understand this song, you probably need to have experienced 1986. So, you know, that's...
However, I was more concerned with a few other things in 1986. But
the thing, I've never... What they were so good at is making a song that had such a big meaning and such a controversial meaning.
Poignant meaning.
Yet, producing this sound and riff, or, you know, just the overall sound of the song, and having that...
Yeah, painting a picture which is open to interpretation.
Now,
with
like,
words.
people can write a good song and have a good message in a song, but the sound isn't necessarily that good.
Right.
But with this, everything is on point, and that is why...
I'd say the sound's alright.
This is brilliant.
I haven't looked at the lyrics and studied them in the same way that you have, so I can't really speak about that. But, you know, it's a promising start to the album, I would say.
I'd say if I was in a built-up suburban area with the windows down, I would turn it up.
I would probably turn it up, but if it was like on a CD or something like that and I had to nip out the car just to get something, I wouldn't pause it. I'd leave it running because I think, you know, you can spare those 3 minutes. God. So it's a good start, I would say. Now, the next one is called...
Frankly, Mr.
Shankly. Now, is this referring to Bob Shankly of Liverpool manager fame? Well, let's find out.
Well... yeah. No. Okay. Well, God. We'll just play the song. All right. God.
Frankly, Mr. Shankly, this position I hold, it pays my way.
Well, that was Frankly Mr. Shankly, and a brilliant song again for me.
It was a jolly jit, definitely a jolly jit.
It's a sharp jolly jit as well, only 2 minutes 18 seconds long.
Which I appreciate. It's almost as if they gave us the 3 minutes back from the first song, which I believe that there was wasted. Well, they've given it back now, so I'm square with them.
To say the first song was wasting 3 minutes each time, it's ridiculous. But to me, it's just I think you look at album placement, it's a great place for this to go.
Yeah.
Because you've got the long song in The Queen is Dead first.
Yeah.
It's, as I said, it's like an epic poem. It goes on for 6 minutes.
It would make a good opening to a sitcom, this song. I can imagine an 80s sitcom opening up with Frankly Mr. Shankly.
I think Frankly Mr. Shankly's got too much meaning for that.
It would be a sitcom about a teacher called Mr. Shankly and the comedic escapades of him and his class.
Well, it's got too much meaning for that. I mean, there's so much behind the song. Again, it's pretty controversial, this song, in lots of ways, the meaning behind it.
Oh, really? But, yeah, go on then, tell me about it, because I don't know.
Well, I don't know, because I just don't want to be controversial about things, really, but, you know...
Well, can you give me, like, a bit of a clue?
Let me just say, maybe, like, when he was writing this song, he had a bit of, like, anger towards the church.
Okay, okay.
So that's all I'll say with that. I don't want to get controversial and stuff because it is a controversial.
You are a flatulent pain in the arse. That's quite a good line.
Well, that's what I mean. You know, not a lot of people could write a song like that. And I've listened to the demo version of this song.
Yeah, pretty decent. Decent.
The song's a completely different song because on the demo version it's sung differently and it sounds not as good.
Right.
But then they sorted it all out and. It shows I think the emphasis on, again, it was the same words, the same message, but they changed the way it sounds because it gets across better.
In some ways,
that's so the Smiths are so good at that.
It makes me think about how good we are in some ways because it's like you've just said there, the Smiths did it and then they had to really tweak it before they put it on an album, whereas me and you just record. Do you know what I mean?
It's
we
like
don't do any tweaking.
We do
don't
album
anything.
reviews. How many people do you know who do album reviews?
Off a randomly generated supercomputer.
Well,
not many
hang on a minute.
people.
Yeah, I don't really know anyone
So,
except me and Elvis.
you know, all hats off to the Smiths for that song, but they're not quite Elvis and Elvis.
Well, they're not really.
If they had to record it
But
twice.
no one is, and you know that's a shame. But you know,
Yeah.
get over it.
Well, this is it. Anyway, the next song, we're up to track 3, and it's called "I Know It's Over."
Great
Again,
song.
I don't know it, so it's a treat for me, or maybe a nasty surprise. We'll see.
Oh, mother, I can feel the soul.
Well, that was "I Know It's Over" by the Smiths.
I'm bloody glad it's over.
Ugh.
To be honest,
Yeah,
it was a
honestly.
long song. That again, 5 minutes and 49 seconds or something. At the end, it sounded as if he was wailing in pain. To be honest,
Well,
now
maybe it was. Maybe it was.
yeah, but you know me. I live with my heart beating a mile a minute, and I like something that'll really get the blood pumping. Now, to me, that if I was having suicidal thoughts, would probably push me over the edge. To be honest, so I'm not a big fan of that one.
Listen, I always think to be a world class reviewer, you have to adapt, and you have to
No, you
listen
don't.
to
You're
songs.
Objective.
Oh,
and that's
guess-
what I am. You
Yeah, but
just like your
you just
favourites
listen to
every
music.
time.
You listen to music
Every
and
time.
you don't adapt and you don't think.
This is why I didn't.
Oh,
want
this is
to come
different.
up on the
You
wheel.
just hear something different and you go, oh, this is crap.
No, it was.
You
It
do.
was just
You do.
boring. What was good
Ah,
about it then? Tell me what
honestly.
was good about that.
Well, because it sounded good.
Not
It was sung brilliantly. The
Wrong.
lyrics are great.
It sounded like he was wailing in pain towards the end.
Ah, It's still better than anything you could ever do. God.
Doubt it.
Well, I don't.
Well, anyway,
I just think, I know it's over. I mean, yeah, it is a slow song, and I still think that. I mean, it's even though it's slow, there's a style about it, and again, it's like these like lyrics where it is a bit down, you know, and like,
yeah.
but
yeah,
the
I
sound
suppose.
behind it still picks it up.
If you are a depressed person, then I suppose this is something that might
well.
suit the mood, but not
Let's
me.
just say, if
I'm
I was in my
generally
car
upbeat.
and this came up on the radio, I'll turn it up to the max. I'll turn the last one up to the max.
Now, the next one I have more hope for because I quite enjoy the title and the English used in the title. It's called Never Had No One Ever, which means he had someone at some point, surely. Never had no one ever. Isn't it?
Never had no one ever.
So he no, that means he's been
I've
constantly.
never had no one
he's
ever.
constantly had companionship
No one
right
ever.
through his life. If he's never had no one ever, be like, oh, you got the money.
Oh yeah,
No
I've
one.
never had
Well, I've
no
never
one.
had no one ever.
I've never had no one ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
this is what I would say is more promising because I enjoy wordplay immensely, and this to me seems like interesting.
Well,
wordplay.
if you enjoyed wordplay,
Yeah.
have a listen to bloody the Smiths and that.
Well, I'm trying. So we'll put this on then, shall we?
Yeah, well, yeah, go on then.
When you walk without a
Is it done? Well, that was Never Had No One Ever. And I know exactly what you're going to say. So I
What?
don't know if there's even any point in
What
saying.
am I going to say?
Well, I mean, it wasn't the most upbeat song ever. So I know you're probably going to be like, oh, well, it was crap.
Well, what I would say is, what is wrong with this fella, honestly?
God.
Good God, I wouldn't hang about
Well,
with this.
I mean, this is ridiculous now.
It
It's getting
is
ridiculous.
miserable, though, isn't
No,
it? Honestly. I mean, what was that song about?
Well,
We
again,
discussed beforehand, I was enjoying the wordplay, and to me it suggests that he's never been without companionship, which is something one would celebrate under normal circumstances. Normal circumstances.
Now the thing you've got to think is
he's
he
moaning
singing
about
about
it.
himself or is he singing about like a narrative? Wise?
Ah, right.
That's the
okay.
thing you've got to think here.
You've captured my ear.
Because you've got to think, is this a story about something else?
Yes, it could
Now
be.
with Billy Joel, The Stranger, that was a collection of stories.
Yeah, yeah.
All the way through. It was instead of like Pulp, which was a narrative all the way through.
Yes, yes.
It was like it's a collection of stories, and this could be the same. This could be the same.
Maybe Morrissey has his eye on someone
Is it Morrissey,
with
though?
whom he seeks companionship, and this person has never had no one ever, and he's waiting for that person to have no one so he can swoop in and become the companion, but this person's never had no one ever and he's just waiting forever. That would be an excuse for him moaning and whining like he seems to do constantly.
I don't think it's moaning and whining. I think that's quite an harsh thing to say about moaning and whining. But like as you just said there, yeah, you know that's a good interpretation. I think. I mean, look, now I'm outside your house, I'm alone, and I'm outside your house. I hate to intrude. I think
Well,
it
there
could
could be
like,
a narrative to that.
I think they're like trying to like.
It's a bit stalkerish. It wouldn't be out of place on different class. This a little bit stalkerish. Well, you know, I like a stalkerish.
Listen,
song.
I've heard your narrative to the stranger.
Well,
we're not going there again.
No, I was on about different class actually.
Oh right. Well, yeah, different class was all right. Different class was good.
Yeah.
But that was the narrative we both created. The stranger, I still haven't got over it. I still don't know what that was all about.
Yeah.
But
well,
you could not make a narrative out of this.
Actually, I've just remembered something. I know a little fact about Morrissey.
Oh, go on.
I have a friend who lives near to Morrissey, and apparently Morrissey drives around in a car with a car sticker on the back of Morrissey, which I very much admire because I'm sat here now with an Elbis and Elbis.
Well, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
So,
in a lot of ways, Morrissey's probably like Elbis and Elbis.
Yeah. If you've got something to offer, never be afraid to self-promote.
No, at the end of the day, if you see yourself as a brand, it's always important to improve the brand and get that brand out there. That's all Morrissey's doing there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, some people say, "Oh God, how come you're always wearing stuff with your own face on it and all this business?" Well, if you're not willing to wear it, nobody else is going to be.
Exactly.
So,
someone's got to wear the hoodie.
They
you
have.
know what I mean? Someone's got to wear it.
Yeah.
And it's a world-class hoodie. And if you haven't got your world-class hoodie yet, go to the Elbis and Elbis store.
Yeah.
The link will be in the description, probably. We don't know.
Well,
it depends if we can be bothered.
Remember,
But go to there, get your hoodies in, get all the clothes and that you need, and start wearing this bloody merch.
Beyond anything else, the reason I wear it is it's probably the most comfy and well-fitting
well, let's just say we had a review once and it fitted the arms of him well, and it also was very comfortable. You know, if you want an hoodie that fits you well, comfortable, warm, whatever, and you look absolutely $100 or whatever, go get your Elbis and Elbis hoodies.
Now,
anyway,
looking forwards on this album. Now, I'm at a point in the album where I would very much appreciate a Jolly Jit. And looking at the title of the next song, Cemetery Gates, I can't imagine it to be a Jolly Jit.
You never know.
Well,
you never know.
Let's wait and see.
These are the joys of the Smiths. You never know.
Let's wait and see.
Well, that was... that's you, that.
What?
Well, I was about to say that was Girlfriend in a Coma. And that's because you've just been going on about it.
Yeah, well, I do like Girlfriend.
Well, that was Cemetery Gates anyway. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you were hoping for a Jolly Jit, and I've got to say, Morrissey and Buddy Johnny Marr and all them, they delivered.
They delivered a Jolly Jit, indeed. And it was surprising to me. It's probably the jolliest jit with the word cemetery in the title.
See, that's what's unique about the Smiths. They can do that. They can put what looks like a depressing song, the way it's written, everything about it is really quite depressing, yet put a jolly jit on it, you know,
I enjoyed that,
twist.
and it was well needed because, you know, I'm generally a very happy person and upbeat, but the album was putting me in a dark place, and that, as to be honest, it's raised my spirits now.
I'm glad in a way.
You know, albums are there, and they're supposed to toy with your emotions and invoke emotions, and this has actually done that, so I'm not going to slag it off too badly at the moment. Now, one thing we haven't done, though, if you don't mind me saying, is we haven't done the turn it up, turn it off thing for absolutely ages.
Right, I'll tell you what then, let's go through all the songs we've done.
Right, Queen is Dead, we already said turn it up.
Turn it up.
Mine was turn it up, but I would leave it on if I had to pop in the post office and put a postal letter because it was too long. Yeah. However, so frankly, Mr. Shankly,
turn it up.
I would also turn it up. It was like a good 80s sitcom theme tune. I Know It's Over.
Turn it up.
Turn it off for me. Sorry, but turn it off. Never Had No One Ever.
Turn it up.
Surprise, surprise from you. Turn it off from me. Cemetery Gates.
Turn it up.
Stay the same. It was a joy.
You were just enjoying it.
It was alright. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it doesn't mean I have to turn it right up. Because what if a better song came on afterwards and I couldn't turn it up anymore? Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's at the same volume anyway, so that makes no sense.
No,
that's ridiculous.
But there's something symbolic about cranking that knob to the right.
Oh, well, let's just say.
Let's just say. I wouldn't know about that. That's something you would be interested in.
Oh, yeah, it would be. God, bloody cranking knobs all the time.
I think it's time we move
forward. You talk about cranking your knobs later.
I think it's time we move forward with this.
This is a family-friendly podcast.
This is now called Big Mouth strikes again. So my initial impression is I have no idea what this is going to be like.
Well, will he strike again? Let's see.
Well, sounds a jolly bit.
Well, that was Big Mouth Strikes Again, and I've got to say, it just gets better and better, this album, for me. It really does.
Well, I'll agree with you in that it gets better, because it has got better, and I do enjoy that song very much. It's one I've heard before, so not a complete surprise to me, but definitely a song in the upper echelons of songs.
I think this song really, for me, defines how good Morrissey is at writing songs. It really does. I mean, the way it sounds as well, again, just even complements it even more. But this song is one of the trademark Smith songs. You know what I mean? This is one of the songs you think of when you think of the Smiths.
Yeah, I suppose you do in a way. And do you think when he refers to Big Mouth, he is speaking of himself? So it's autobiographical.
Yeah, maybe. I think possibly. Yeah. Well, a lot of people criticise it because they said that he's comparing himself to Joan of Arc.
All right.
Because, it says, now I know how Joan of Arc felt.
Right.
So people criticise that.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong in being empathetic towards someone who...
Well, let's just say I don't, because I probably know how
misfortunate
Joan of Arc
end.
felt.
Yeah.
Really, you know what I mean?
She was bent at the stake, wasn't she?
Well, I probably don't then. I probably don't.
I was going to say, I don't think unless you are in that situation with the flames
let's just
licking
say,
your toes,
I don't think it felt
you
that
can
good.
really relate to it.
I don't think it felt that good though.
Well, I can see
so,
why
to be
people
fair,
slag
I
it
don't
off
think
then.
it's that hard to feel know how Joan of Arc felt.
No.
Because when you're gonna get burned at the stake, you know what I mean?
Like, oh God.
You'd be like, oh, this isn't very good.
Yeah.
So that's probably how she felt. So
Yeah.
that's not that big of a claim.
Yeah.
To me, I don't understand what people are going on about there. But that's the wonders of the world.
I suppose. Right, where are we up to with this?
Well, you're turning up or turning
I'll tell you what.
I mean, you complain about we haven't
without
done it for
any
ages.
caveat, as there has been in previous songs, I'm turning that up.
I like to hear it, and I'm also turning it up.
It was a good
Now,
length
I know what
as
you're all
well.
thinking. You're all
Good
thinking,
length.
bloody Elvis turns all of them up.
Yeah,
Well,
it
name a
does,
bad song on this album.
Do you want me to?
I'm not asking you, I'm asking the audience.
Yeah, alright.
Comment below if you want.
Yeah. Now, this one is another song I believe I know. It's called The Boy with a Thorn in His Side. Hang on a minute.
Yes.
Is he going on about Jesus now? No, he didn't have a thorn in his side, did he?
No, he had a thorn in his head, didn't he?
Yeah, but he had like a spear in his side. So...
Well, if it was the
Oh,
boy
Jesus!
Well, that was the boy with the thorn in his side. Nearly messed that all up. And again, brilliant song.
It's a good song, that. A really good song. Now, what I would say is, and this is something which I've never done before, if that came on the radio, or the wireless, and there was other songs before and after it and all that business, I would turn that up, right, because it's a good song. But do you know what? By now, his voice is starting to get on my nerves on this album. So in the context of the album, I like it less than I would if it just appeared on the radio. I've never said that before. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just don't understand it. I really don't understand it. What does that mean? I don't.
It means that if there's a non-Morrissey song before and after it,
So you can't
it's a
say
great song.
12 songs in a row of Morrissey. That's what you mean.
I think I'm struggling, if I'm honest. You know.
You see, I could, and that's the thing. Some people probably couldn't, but you could say that about anyone. I think.
Yeah.
And could you take 12 songs of
Pulp? Yes.
Well, yeah.
Appetite for Destruction. Billy Joel.
Well,
yes.
don't know
Yes.
about
Yes.
bloody Appetite. Jesus.
Fleetwood Mac, maybe not.
No.
Yeah, no, they let us down, didn't they? And Parallel Lines by Blondie also let us down.
Yeah, probably
But
not.
we did say if you get the greatest hits of Blondie, it's probably quite good because she does have they do have quite a few good
the
songs.
boy with the thorn in his side. I mean, I'm a fan of the Smiths. I'm a fan of Morrissey, and I've actually been on my travels to a little location called Leeds, which I have reviewed on the poddy before.
No, it was York you reviewed.
No, I did Leeds as well.
Did you?
Yeah, I did Leeds and York.
I forgot about
Both.
that.
Well, I
Right.
travelled far.
Yeah.
And I actually went to see Morrissey perform, perform.
Did you really?
And
I didn't know
he
that.
performed
Yeah.
this song.
Yeah.
And it was bloody brilliant, it was.
Well, I can imagine if he did it live, maybe.
Yeah, and the thing with Morrissey is, do you know how, like, some people, like, some singers and that, and they're, like, live and they can't sing?
Yeah.
He can. He's really good. He
Which
sounds
is
just
good,
like he does on the album, so that's really good. Probably not as good for you, because you don't like him on the album.
No, well, his voice is great on me.
But he was bloody brilliant, and when he sang this, it was a great moment.
I bet it was, in a way, if you really like this sort of thing. Now, there's 3 songs left, and the next one, I mean, as I said before, you know, I quite enjoy the language that the Smiths have used here. And this is called Vicar in a Tutu, and it paints an interesting picture in one's mind's eye.
Good song as well.
Well, I don't know it, so we'll see. Not as good as Girlfriend in a Coma.
Well, that was Vicar in a Tutu. And another jolly jit.
Yeah, it was a jolly jit. I quite enjoyed that. Good length to the song, 2 minutes and something.
And you've got to say this B-side has really took a turn, and it's really upbeat, this B-side.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And that you've got to give him some credit in that case for the order of the songs on the album.
I think you've got to give him credit as well for the versatility of the album as well. I think there's so many different styles of songs in this. Even Vicar in a Tutu there, even though it was a jolly jit, it had sort of a country feel to it for me, like a sort of
it did a bit.
It reminded me of like a band dance or something like that. It was quite enjoyable.
Was there even a Vicar in a Tutu in the words of the song? I didn't really know this.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, he did say Vicar in a Tutu. He only said Vicar in a Tutu though.
Right.
Now, what a Vicar in a Tutu would look like, I'm not sure. Probably.
Well, I mean, we live in a very modern world nowadays, and the thing is, you know, you could get a woman vicar, which is very acceptable nowadays. In fact, some people prefer it. And so if she was wearing a tutu, and also, you know, you could have a male vicar in a tutu, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't.
So, you know, it's
and a male lollipop man or lady who probably would wear a tutu, and that's fine.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, that's fine. I've got, you know, everyone drive past him every day and gives him a wave.
Yeah,
so, there's nothing wrong with that.
What, he wears a tutu?
No, but he let's just say he would...
in the middle of winter.
No, but he would... you know, probably choose to wear a tutu due to his, you know, desired gender.
He has a rhythmic approach to his lollipop duty.
Yes, and, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, everyone sees him every day, gives him a wave, he gives a wave back, and it's a nice thing. So if he wants to wear a tutu, that's fine.
Absolutely.
If the vicar wants to wear a tutu, it's fine with me.
But I would say don't wear a tutu in the middle of winter, because you will freeze to death.
Yeah, or wear some, like, skins or something.
Wear it under your regular uniform.
Yeah, if you want to wear a tutu.
Fine. Now, the next song...
Oh, were you turning it up, or...?
Oh, God. If I'm really honest, I'd stay the same with that.
I'd turn it up.
I'd stay the same. It's... Well, I think you've guessed by now, Morrissey probably isn't my choice of artiste.
Probably not.
But
no. Which is fine. I mean,
I respect him.
I'm not going to slag you off, because at least you've actually given it a go.
Yeah,
before,
I've been constructive.
With like Billy Joel or whatever, and
I give Billy Joel a go, and I liked it.
God.
I liked it.
Well, how come you
much.
slagged out for the songs?
Well, it's because you're ultra sensitive as far as your boyfriend Billy Joel.
Hang on a minute. So now you're just slagging off songs because of me. So now you're not a real reviewer then, really, are you?
Now, the one thing, I think my favourite thing about this album...
And he's not my boyfriend, he's my idol.
Well,
very much different.
My favourite thing about this album is probably the titles of the songs. I think it's got some cracking titles. It's just the songs don't back it up, in my expert opinion. Now, the next one is called There Is a Light That Never Goes Out. Now, I believe I am familiar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you are. I'm familiar, and probably a lot of people who are listening are probably going to be familiar with this as well.
Yeah. Well, certainly our UK fans, our American fans, I'm not sure about the impact the Smiths had over it.
Yeah, maybe not, but actually, to be fair, Morrissey's pretty big in America, though. Yeah. He is living out there now, I think, and...
he has... unleashed his...
Well, he's maybe got a few properties out there, and he's expanded his...
He has unleashed his unique form of depression transatlantically.
He has conquered and discovered... just go. Well, that was There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, and... again, brilliant song, really good. Brilliant.
Yeah, I do like that one. Very good song.
Yeah, and I mean its popularity in, you know, the time it's been around says it all, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems to have increased somewhat.
Yeah, definitely.
I think maybe I have been a bit harsh on the Smiths in a way, because this is 1986, and I suppose you've got to bear that in mind.
Yeah, this is what I mean. This is, again, these in a way like Elbis and Elbis, boot down the door and say, we're wearing flares.
Yeah,
If anyone knows what we're talking about what we referenced before in previous episodes.
Well, we should know. The real facts.
We're doing something different, and we're proud to admit that. And
is,
that's what the Smiths were doing.
It's like you'd say, the Smiths sound like the Smiths. Do you know what I mean? They don't sound like anybody
exactly.
else.
Yeah.
Elbis and Elbis sound like Elbis and Elbis. A unique sound, a unique production.
Like Oasis sound a bit like the Beatles.
Yes, that's right. Yes, and we like Oasis, as we mentioned.
Yeah,
many
get me
but
wrong.
they are not original like Elbis and Elbis.
No.
So originality must be given credit.
Yeah.
And I would give credit to the Smiths for their originality.
I would definitely give credit.
And that's why I'm such a good album reviewer, because it's not to my taste, the Smiths. Not really. It's not to my taste. But I appreciate them, and I will give them credit. They haven't copied it.
They deserve credit, because this, as you say, it's one of a kind. No one can replicate it, and if they tried, straight away people go, this just sounds like the Smiths.
Exactly.
So, for being unique and having your own style of things, which is hard to do, Elbis and Elbis have managed to do it, but doesn't mean you listening can do it, because it's, it's tough, and you're probably not as special as we are.
Yeah.
But the Smiths have done it. The Smiths have done it.
Spaghetti bolognese. Not everybody likes spaghetti bolognese. Most people do. But spaghetti bolognese tastes like spaghetti bolognese, and it is a dish in itself. Now, I would say the Smiths sound like the Smiths. It may not be to my taste. I would not order it in a restaurant, but I appreciate that it is a valid dish.
And I'm glad you sort of appreciate it, to be honest, because, I think that's probably... I appreciate it probably more, because I love the Smiths.
Yeah.
But, I think this is one of the best albums we've reviewed.
I think in some ways this is almost a landmark album, because I've kind of slagged it off a little bit, and it's an album that you dearly love and an album that I'm not keen of. Now, normally this just results in extreme squabbling, but it's almost as if we've come to some sort of compromise with this.
Yeah,
and you've listened to my constructive criticism and accepted it. So,
well, I think you as well have listened to my criticism of your criticism and listened to that as well. So
Well, again,
cheers,
another fantastic title coming up next, and there's never been a truer word spoken than this.
Final song of the album.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and some girls are bigger than others, and that's not having a go at big girls.
Now,
or
let's just
small
say
girls.
before
It's
everyone
stating a
starts,
fact. Yeah,
that is stating a fact, and it is true.
Yeah, some
girls are bigger than others.
Yeah. Some blokes are bigger than others.
Some
probably
eat more.
Some
that's not. There's nothing wrong with that. If you fancy whatever you want to eat it if you really want.
Yeah.
But if the doctor says, well, there's something going on because you're eating too much, that's on you.
Yeah, some people.
That is on you.
Some people of a fluid gender are bigger than other people of a fluid
Yes,
gender.
they are. Now,
it's not specific to girls.
You could wear a tutu and eat as much as you want.
Yeah. Now,
that's up to you.
I suppose in the modern world, you could maybe criticise them for that. They should maybe have said some people are bigger than others.
Yeah, because some men are bigger than others.
Yeah, that's what we're saying here.
Now,
gender
however,
does not determine size, and nor should it.
Yeah, that's
should
well
it.
spoken.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to criticise the title right now.
Yeah.
But let's hear the song. Let's hear the meaning behind it.
Yeah,
and maybe
yeah.
this title will have some relevance.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Turn it down.
Oh, what's happened? No, that's the song.
Oh, I got you knew this. Well, that was Some Girls Are Bigger Than Others. And I think that song, it made me reflect about the album. It did. And it's made me think this album is amazing because it's so interesting.
Well,
I think if you was in 1981, that made me think. If you was in 1986 and you went to an album shop and bought this album and you listen to it, you'd just think, what the hell is this? Do you know what I mean?
I would think that actually, yeah, you're right.
But not in a bad way.
That's exactly what I think.
I think this is different. This is something. Something's going on.
Yeah, kind of like we've already touched upon. I mean,
and there's so many different styles in this album. If you looked at the album cover,
not that many different styles. If we're honest, there's either a jolly jit, which isn't all that jolly, or there's something which is borderline depressing.
I think there is some different styles because of the way they're put together.
Yeah, well, sometimes some styles ought to not.
The musical arrangement of each song is different. Different styles. So yes, there is many different styles. Thanks to Mr. I'm an expert reviewer.
It's all right.
Jesus.
It was a decent end to the album. I don't mind that song. It was jollier than a lot of the others, so I quite appreciated that. I just think it's a bit like overall final impressions. I would say it's like with Blondie. Now, when we did Parallel Lines, we were somewhat disappointed with the middle of the album, but it had some cracking tracks on it. And I then recommended to people, which I think you supported, buy Blondie's Greatest Hits. It'll be better than that album.
Yeah.
Now, there are a couple of Smith/Morrissey songs that I really like Girlfriend in a Coma and something else, but I forgot what it is now. Now, I still wouldn't recommend even buying Morrissey's Greatest Hits. I would say save your money, sit tight, and wait till one of the songs comes on the radio and you might enjoy it.
No,
that would be me. I'm sorry, but
ridiculous.
I'm sorry, but that's.
I think The Queen is Dead is one of the best vinyl albums you can buy. I've got the vinyl album. One of the first albums I bought was the Queen is Dead, and to me it's a real something. I recommend people to go buy the album, whether it's on your phone or if you listen to it on Spotify or on vinyl. Listen to this album.
Buy Pulp instead.
And if you don't want to listen to the album, at least just listen to some Smiths because it needs to be.
Well, let's just backtrack a minute.
Because, no, hang on a minute though.
We haven't done the Turn It Up thing.
But we were speaking about whether that song would have any relevance to the title would have any relevance to the song.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Does the title have much relevance there?
I've got to be honest. As with many of the songs on this album, the words sort of washed over me, so I have no idea.
I think in a way they probably do because I think.
Is it specific to girls?
I think so.
This is what we were trying to establish.
Because I think it's.
Should it be person?
It's a message from Morrissey about society and the how women are portrayed. I think that's what that song's about. Yeah.
Right. So he's saying you've just got to accept it. Some girls are bigger than others.
I think it's.
Nothing
I think
you
it's
can do
the
about it. Is that what he's saying?
Social expectancy.
Right.
That he's talking about. People expect girls to look like something.
So people are like saying,
he's saying some girls are bigger than others, but there's nothing wrong with it.
Not her fault.
Not wrong with it.
Genetic.
I think the girls have much relevance in there. So I don't think you should have a go at Morrissey for not
you can never
accommodating all genders.
Discount the frame, can you? Some girls might be big framed. Now, I would never slag off fat people or anything like that. My only concern is, are they healthy? If you're healthy and happy, go with it.
If you're a healthy fat person, stay fat if you want.
Yeah, and if you are a fat person who's unhappy with being fat, then just go on a diet and sort it out.
The only problem is, if you was fat, you'd probably have a disadvantage in the fact that you couldn't probably squeeze through like
depending
tight
on how
gaps and
fat
stuff.
you are. Yeah, and plane rides would be a nightmare.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, sometimes you might have to book 2 seats.
Yeah.
Which costs more money. So,
but if that's the case,
But if you enjoy being fat, it's up to you.
Do everything you can to reduce the calories, and you will lose some weight. So
and maybe go for exercise or something once every now and then.
Best of luck to you.
Just see what happens. Yeah, good luck.
Now, so overall, I don't think we did the Turn It Up thing for
I'd turn them all up.
Yeah, we know. I would stay the same, Vicar in a tutu. The Light That Never Goes Out, I would probably turn it up. And some girls are bigger than others. I would stay the same because, to be quite honest, I forgot what it was like right now, and it's only on 2 minutes ago.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that Elbis wasn't a fan of The Queen is Dead.
No.
I was definitely a fan of The Queen is Dead. I always have been a fan of The Queen is Dead. Yeah. I recommend you go listen to the album all the way through, or at least just listen to some Smiths.
I'm glad that we reviewed
really
it.
Good.
We reviewed it, though, and I mean, one reason for that is it's like, obviously my business and mogality, it's like on a Monday morning, one of the reasons for my success is there are certain jobs which I hate doing, but I like to just get them out of the way and get them done, first thing on a Monday morning, get those jobs done. And this, in a way, this was stuck on the random generation supercomputer wheel, and it was playing on my mind, the fact it was on there. So I'm glad that we've done it, we've got it out of the way, and hopefully we can replace it with a decent album.
Well, I mean, that just shows the level of etiquette you have for these albums, because, quite frankly, I mean, if you don't like an album, that's fine. But the way you're slagging it off at the moment, it's very unprofessional. And let's just say, I'm glad we reviewed it. I love the album. I'm glad it was on the wheel.
Yeah.
And I would happily review any Smiths album.
Well, what we'll have to do is we'll have to go through the fan requests, which are building up quite considerably.
Well, yeah, so calm down with them, to be honest, because I'm getting
album.
sick of seeing them all.
Yeah.
So maybe just send a request, but
Yeah.
not as much, please.
Yeah,
That's what I'd say.
Well, we'll pick another album to feed into the Random Generation supercomputer.
Yeah.
And well,
And that takes time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People say, "Oh God, why don't you just put one on now?"
Yeah,
it
it's
takes
not as
time.
easy
You've got
as
to get the petaflops right.
You've got to line the punch cards up correctly.
Exactly.
Feed them in
So
and stuff.
that'll probably take some time, maybe a couple of weeks or something. But yeah, we will come back with another album review, maybe sooner than you think.
That's what I was just going to say.
Maybe sooner than
It
you
could be
think. You
sooner
never
than
know.
you think.
And that's the best thing about Elbis and Elbis. There's no set pattern to when we upload, so just keep your eye out all the time.
And in these days of difficult, getting together and stuff, we feel, and we've always said, both of us, haven't we, that time is the most precious commodity of all, and if you have the gift of time, you must use it effectively.
Yeah.
As such, we may be using our time effectively today. Let's just say.
Well, let's just say you may be treated in the way of maybe more than one appearance of Elbis and Elbis.
Yes.
That's all we'll say. We don't want to give too much away.
Should we close it down there then?
I think so. Everyone, that was The Queen Is Dead by the Smiths. I recommend you listen to it.
I recommend
Elbis
you
reckons you don't, but I strongly disagree and would say go listen to The Queen Is Dead. Go listen to some Smiths. And without further ado, thanks for listening and that. Make sure you subscribe. Check the merch out. Follow the Twitter.
There'll be new merch coming soon.
Send some emails for any queries or questions you've got.
Yeah.
We maybe even might do
One
a Q&A.
request per fan we're going to have to do now, though.
We might even do a Q&A if you send so many questions.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been Elbis and Elbis. You've been world class.
The Elbis and Elbis Album Review Show.
Cover art.
Good.